couple months ago on stream, we reacted to Merphy's review for Water 7, and I forgot I had the footage, so that's what this video is. If you do not know who Merphy is, by the way, please go watch her video before you even slightly consider watching this. Go sub to her. She's an amazing content creator. This video was actually fucking awesome, and I cut as much as I could out of it because reacting to a review specifically, there were a lot of points where I wasn't speaking for a decent amount of time, but it was really cool getting a different perspective on things and just reliving these moments. If you guys want me to do this in the future, make sure to let me know down in the comments, and as always, go follow my Twitch down below. We stream over there 3 times a week, and I think the day you're seeing this, we're actually watching Spirited Away, so go check that out down below. Yeah, I'll see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, go sub to Merphy, please. But we're gonna just pause throughout it a lot, most likely, just because I want to get a different perspective on how I viewed this arc and if I can get like a better appreciation for One Piece. I'm very excited for this, so excited. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not strong enough for this. Okay, so
I
today
love
we
Water
are
7 so much,
discussing One Piece, Water 7 arc. So I'm in the Water 7 saga, and I just read the Water 7 arc. I'm gonna put it on the screen to make it just abundantly clear, but I just
I'm very giddy watching this.
Back fight.
Love this.
What's that called? Long Ring Long Island last week.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this weekend.
Can you put captions on? Sure. How'd you guys feel about Long Ring Long Island? Because the only time I have ever watched One Piece was for Long Ring Long Island, and it was great. I liked it a lot with Long Ring Long Island, but that's the only time I'm ever going to watch One Piece is through that.
I read the Water 7 arc, so next week I'll be reading the Enbis Lobby. How do you say that? That'll be next week. So
she's a manga reader purely, no anime.
Just
cool.
This will be easier. Are you reading the end pages? What are those?
I really like her setup. Can I just say this for a second? Like, I love her setup. Like, it really, it's like a homely vibe in a way. It makes you like, you know, that she's the book reader and stuff with the background. But if these were like white shelves, I feel like it would be different. I like this a lot better, the tone of it.
Called? I've
What's
gotten,
the little
I've gotten this
boker in the
question
background?
so many times I should know. That little cap of something, it's like its own story before our actual story. The answer is yes. I've been reading them for a long
You can drag the captions? What the fuck?
time because I've been getting DMs about them for a long time. I don't really understand why I'm reading them and what relevance they hold, but I am reading them. Oh, also this review, like the last review, is going to have a mix of black and white photos and colored photos. So what I've done is I've gone back to reading the black and white editions of these volumes. I'm reading them on viz.com and what I'm also doing is I still have the colored version, the fan translated version, in another tab, and I gotta say Thriller Bark is better black and white, and then I'm going back and scrolling back through it in color so that I can still see it in all of its glory.
The old man Long Island is hilarious.
Anime behind that, which I'm not very far into the anime. I've actually
fallen odd, behind but in a good way.
On that, but I am still watching it too. So for this review, I actually finished reading Water 7 arc this morning. So
it's very fresh in my mind.
My thoughts are not together. So I apologize for
Dude, I'm so excited for this.
If this is going to be pretty messy. And I also apologize in advance for the length of this video because there's a lot to cover.
The pages in the videos because they're totally Mark situation.
First, and then we'll get into
that's fair.
Character moments.
That's fair because
I love this.
It's always different.
So, Water 7, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not what I was expecting.
Bro, damn straight.
Out the last arc, the Davy Back fight, I thought that they were going to lose the fight and then they were going to be kicked into Davy Jones' locker because I knew the next arc was called Water 7. So I thought, oh, okay, no problem. We're going to go to Davy Back's locker and we're going to have to be underwater and face off against Davy Back. Davy Jones' locker.
That's
what have I been saying? I thought they were going to get kicked into Davy Jones' locker and we were going to face off against Davy Jones. I didn't know how that was going to work because obviously Luffy can't.
When I thought going into Water 7, I had like no expectations. Since coming off of Long Ring Long Island, I thought it was going to be more of like a, not necessarily chill, but I thought it wasn't going to be as serious as it did get. I really expected it to be pretty casual, I know, not really any stakes or anything, and then it just fucking flipped everything straight away. They set the tone.
Swim or
within a few episodes.
Anything underwater, but I mean, he's put a barrel over his body before.
Actually, one second. Okay, my favorite moment in Water 7, the arc, was when, not the fight between Usopp and Luffy. My favorite moment was when Luffy I mean, sorry, when Usopp was crying on the ground, speaking to Nami, about like his pain, him not being like able to live up to everybody's expectations, be a part of the group, be strong or anything. That felt like hit me harder than anything else. Obviously, the fight between them two did, but that was just my favorite moment in the arc by far.
And made a makeshift diving suit, so I figured he'd find a way. I was not expecting just like a water city, a city built on water or under.
That's also crazy. It's a weird situation. I wasn't expecting
this gorgeous, beautiful place that uses water.
It does look so
really
sick.
Interesting ways.
Bro, did anybody else? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm pausing so much. Did anybody else get the Avatar Last Airbender vibes from like the what is it? Is it the Earth? Oh, wherever the place is with Boomy, when they were doing that shit with the Earth and like on slides and shit.
I quite liked it. It wasn't what I was expecting.
I loved it.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It just reminded me of that.
I love every world that we enter throughout this entire series. Every
Scenery's
new
amazing.
Arc is in a new location, and this new location has its own culture around it, like the masks, which I never really understood. I guess the mask is just a part of their culture, right? It's just a thing about this world.
I feel like that one was almost something for them to be able to hide the face of the CP9, but then also in the same way, like, give a bit more depth to the city.
It just seemed like a thing that happens here, right? Yeah. Which I loved. I think that it's really cool. The way that they get around in this water city, the way the city is built. Everywhere we go, it's its own place with its own rules, and everything is unique to it, which I love. Also, I love that this is a city that works closely with the government, and even the train takes you
too closely with the government.
What seems to be the most corrupt governmental system ever. So the next city over is like the world government, where they torture and kill people if they're convicted.
I can really not wait to get to Impel Down. I feel like that's gonna be so fun. I'm not gonna lie.
But like here, the stop before it, pirates are allowed to come in and have their ships fixed, and they help you.
The irony.
But I love that. I love that that is the makeup of this world. So anyway, our crew gets to Water 7. It's gorgeous, and it's accepted that they're pirates, and they're even asked, "Are you planning on looting us?" And they're like, is that normal? Is that fine for you to be asking that? You're comfortable with us answering that question? We know that pirates come from all over the world here because the carpenters here, is that what they're called? Yeah, the carpenters, the ship mechanic guys here are just the best, and they do incredible work. And we also learn very quickly that they can hold their own when pirates try to pirate. I loved our carpenters. So I am a sucker for a crew, right? A group of people.
Yeah, I actually got to admit that. I didn't realize like how much I actually liked them as a crew before, you know, the motherfuckers decided, you know, CP9. It's fun. But they felt like just such a cool dynamic. I love them. These motherfucking shipwrights would just come out and like, damn, I'm gonna beat the shit out of these pirates. What are these pussies?
That are...
Yo, what's up, boom? How you doing, bro? Did you enjoy class from the elite? I'm assuming you did, because it's amazing, right? It's pretty amazing, right? The intrigue.
Strong and competent, and that stick together, and that are loyal to each
wild.
Other. And seeing this group of people that work so well together, that work like a well-oiled machine together, and that are strong and powerful and look out for each other, it's just like, I loved them. I loved them. I was already trying to pick out which one of the carpenters I wanted to join our crew. I picked the guy that can't help but yell everything. I thought that he was just lovely. I now no longer think that any of these people will be a part of our crew, even though the yell guy wasn't one of the bad
I felt
guys.
like the fit wasn't there.
I guess. But I mean, if
spoilers!
You're here.
Shit. Out of all of them, wait, that's a great question. Which one would we pick? Wait, where's a picture of them? Oh, wait, she showed it before.
The carpenters here, is that what they're called? Yeah, the carpenters. The ship mechanic guys. And even, I think that it's really cool.
Wait, I gotta find this. God damn it, there was a picture of them. Out of all of them, be a part of the crew, like just as we knew them at face value, I feel like the dynamic with Paulie would have been actually kind of fun, just because of like how he viewed everybody, like him and Sanji, like that would have been so strange for them to get along. That would have been cool. I'm not gonna lie.
But I loved this. I love this group of carpenters so much. I love their chemistry and their dynamics. It was beautiful, and I loved hanging out with them. And what a twist. We'll get there. So obviously the carpenters let us know pretty early on that the merry-go is done. There is no fixing her, no matter how much money you have, which the crew has in this whole thing. It's not gonna happen. The merry-go is donezo, which is so emotional for our crew, and I really felt for them. Anyway, when Usopp ends up
that was like pure heartbreak,
losing the money, and
God damn it, man.
We'll talk more about there when we get to character moments. I'm gonna leave all that because man. But when he gets mugged and loses 2/3 of the money. Anyway, the boys, they go in to get the money.
Man.
They see what. Anyway, the boys, they go in to get the money. They see what's been done to Usopp, and then they go because of Usopp. And I love it.
This was such an empowering moment. Okay, chat. Seriously, I need to know this from you guys. For you guys that are here, that have refreshed the stream. Was it this point in time where we saw Luffy go like his skin go red or something to do with that? Was that like the first instance of it? Of Seeking Gear or of Gears or whatever? Because I swear to God, I saw him go red, and I remember like whenever I saw Seeking Gear, like after that video that I made on it, I like turned around. I was like, wait, didn't we see him go red or some shit earlier? And he started steaming up as well. Okay, so it was. Oh, nah, this Otis the goat, man. What the fuck?
Then after they bring the place down.
It's my wallpaper. I love this moment, man. It was so badass.
And I love it.
I love how they just demolished everybody as well.
Then after they bring the place down,
Luffy
accepts
these scenes, I'm getting the memories
situation right now
coming back to me.
Is that we don't have the money.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We can't fix the merry-go.
Bro, coming into that, it was like very much, you thought Frankie was such a bad dude. And you still ended up sort of thinking that for a very, very long time. It was such like a good callback at the end of the...
gosh, I love Luffy.
In the Vinny's lobby,
that,
when they used the money for
he's dealing with
the
the pain of losing his ship, which is obviously really significant to a pirate. We saw this a lot. He's dealing with that,
bro.
but
I cried over the ship, man.
He's accepted it and he's moved on. He's not blaming Usopp. He's not holding this against him.
Horrific.
He's moving forward. We still have 100,000 berries. We'll be fine to get a new ship. It'll be okay. And then when he presents that to Usopp, and he does it in just the most, I think the kindest way he could, because Usopp is dealing with so much guilt right now. And
actually, I'm really interested to hear this. Wait.
And
this is different
Luffy
than I thought.
Paints it as no big deal. He's just like, no problem. We can't have the merry. We can't afford what we thought we could afford, but we still have 100,000 berries, and look at what we have. I've been looking through this catalog full of ships. It's going to be great still. And him just kind of brushing over what could be blamed on Usopp and just saying, we're crew, we move forward. What an excellent moment for Luffy. I'm supposed to be saving the character moments until after I get through the arc, but until I get through the plot. But I can't.
I never thought of it that way. My point when with this was like I couldn't decide whether it was a great moment for Luffy or it was a insensitive moment. Just trying to like brush past his feelings.
Usopp obviously doesn't accept that, and they get into a fight. And I just want to take a second to praise the animation here. I love the escalation of emotions that happens in this series. So when Luffy is cavalier, he's being chill, he's painting it like no big deal for the sake of Usopp, and then Usopp is escalating things, and you can see Luffy's escalation of emotions.
God, the anime is very accurate. Did not expect that. Very accurate.
From like, hey.
Is my favorite character in One Piece? Okay, at the moment it's Zoro, but it's like very close. It's like Zoro and like Chopper, like right next to each other. It's Zoro at the moment.
I'm doing this for you. To then him yelling, to then him just letting go full force. I love that. I love that the artwork fully depicts everything that these characters are feeling. So Usopp challenges Luffy to a fight, and they fight.
Oh,
and I can tell you I was not prepared
Oh
the level
God.
of emotion that happened to me in this entire arc. I was not prepared for Usopp to leave the crew. Did not expect that.
The biggest fucking moment,
to actually fight when Usopp
that was
challenged him.
ridiculous.
I thought Luffy was gonna throw the fight so that Usopp could just have the ship, but
I thought it was just never gonna happen. I thought that he was just not gonna agree to it. They were gonna talk it out. Like, you didn't expect them to actually go through with the fight and then him leave. Like, literally leave everything that's been like been brought up since episode like fucking 10 or whatever it was when he was introduced. Like, from that moment forward, you never thought that he would completely like abandon everything that's been built up over that time and his friends. It's
and you
crazy.
know what? He held his own. The man.
He held his own, but I don't know if it was the anime or whatever, but it just really felt like Luffy wasn't, you know, completely. Felt like he was going all out, but he didn't, like, you know, fully go in.
Who has constantly said, oh, I can't fight. Oh, I can't do this tiny little conflict because I'm sick. Again, in this moment,
he's very determined.
He fought the most powerful member of our crew, and he did great. He still lost. It can't have gone any other way. Held his own with these impact dials that he has now. He's becoming a lot more powerful in a really human way, not in a devil fruit way, which I think is so cool. The ship's spirit ended up coming out and fixing itself and even speaking to Usopp and saying, I'll get you to the next place. I'll go a little bit further for you. And the way I interpreted it, the way I saw it was in this, Usopp took that gift from the ship, from Mary, and in his mind, he thought, you're making this sacrifice and you're going farther than you should be able to go for us. But once we get you here, we'll be able to fix you and we'll be able to get you back to where you need to be so that we can all continue together as a crew. And so for him, the Mary isn't just a vessel. It's not just something to mourn. It's a crew member. After finding out the connection that he's had with the ship,
felt very justified.
It makes sense to me.
Oh, the flashbacks, man. That shit hit hard, bro. Ah, I forgot about that. Honestly. It's like one of the greatest moments in the series that I've seen so far. Just because you really fucking understood each side. And that was like the worst thing about it. It was like, it makes sense from everybody's perspective. The only thing that felt like it was too far was Usopp leaving. But then in the end, that all tied into the end of, you know, posting his lobby when he came back. And then them being like, oh, we don't hear Usopp making those excuses.
Of them meeting and bonding and becoming a crew together. Dude, you can't do this to me. I'm not emotionally stable enough for this. Man, and then anyway, so Zoro just said, just give him the ship anyway, when the battle was over, which they did. They left him with medical supplies and with the ship. And
Chopper, medical supplies, it was so adorable.
I'm not strong enough for this series. The emotion that I had to go through watching them all mourn leaving Usopp behind. I'm not strong enough for this.
Okay, well that leads into something I've seen a couple times on stream, but like One Piece was the singular series that has ever like made me emotional for like a piece of media. I think I've only ever cried to like something once before, and that was like I think one thing in JoJo's. But even then, like it was one moment. And this is like, there have been fucking so many moments where it's really hit me and impacted me more than I expected. I've said this like a bunch of times in general, but whenever I hear things in shows that like, you know, people say that this thing or this saying or these moments really like affected the way I like view things in life or like changed my perspective on things. I never had that before. Like never a single time. I still don't think I've really had that with One Piece particularly. The other thing I have had is like, it's made me feel more open when it comes to like letting my emotions out when it comes to things. Like I haven't feel like I needed to keep it in. I think that's like one of the main things that's like really like changed my life for me.
Hospitalized, Betrayed. Iceberg says, which by the way, I love that Luffy calls him Ice Guy the whole time because he's so bad with names. Luffy, you and me, I get you, man. I'm terrible with names too. Oh, also that scene. No,
let's not go into how bad I am with names. I have to have a fucking notepad for animes nowadays.
Of everything that's gone down.
Literally.
Luffy refuses to believe it. Absolutely insulted that he would even consider that Robin could betray them, even though she disappeared as soon as they arrived here and they haven't heard from her since. She would never. Luffy's loyalty to his crew. Oh, so good. Then we have this heist of sorts where Robin and the CP9 crew sneak in to finish Iceberg and get the plans, get the blueprints, which he misleads them and gives them a fake. And that's when we learn a lot, when Robin is, I don't know, watching him, capturing him, and that's when he kind of explains why we're all here, and that's because there is a weapon that's powerful enough to destroy the entire Earth, and then there's an anti-weapon, and Robin is pretty much the only person that has enough knowledge to be able to activate this item, which is why there's been a bounty on her head since she was a child. I guess because she's smart enough and able enough, so we should capture a child so that she doesn't maybe possibly become evil someday.
I know, right?
She said she doesn't want...
It's so annoying when you first find that out, and then when you like get to the bounty, and you're like, wait, this child has a fucking bounty that's insanely high. And for what? It's a child. Like, how bad could she really be? And still, you don't really find that out until the end. And then it's not really because of how she was. It was just about the fucking corruption. The bullshit or whatever the hell the government's hiding.
Weapon for bad things.
If they're
she
being
just wants to
trash.
Understand the history of it. Doesn't matter. She's too powerful. She should be taken out just because of the power that she holds.
Such a good moment.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention the twist again. You guys, I loved these carpenters so much.
The shipwrights.
I was not prepared.
Thank God,
for
Paulie's
them
still
to
best
be
boy.
CP9. I was not prepared for them to be the bad guys. I like them so much, and when they took off their masks, I died. That was such a good twist. That was such a good twist. And now I have this group of people that I love and that I've been rooting for and that I've fallen for that are these awesome antagonists. Oh, so then Luffy and Zoro burst through the room at the same time. Wait, first Luffy burst through the wrong room. Gosh, I love him. But anyway, they burst through the room at the same time.
Such a Luffy moment.
And of course, the only thing on Luffy's mind is, Robin, good, we found you. I can protect you now. They're trying to falsely accuse you. Luffy's loyalty that he wouldn't even consider. That
really ties into the whole fucking crew in general. Like, the only thing we really value is each other, particularly. Well, obviously, we have our own objectives, but like, that's all we need to a fault.
And in everything that's happening, even though they're here knowing that the bad guys are here, and Robin, hi, she's right here with the bad guys, and he's like, oh good, you're here. Let me protect you. He won't even consider it, and I love him for it. So, these carpenters...
What a great moment.
I love them because they made me trust them and then betrayed me.
Yeah, fuck those dudes. I hate CP9. Bro, okay. The one person I did not trust from the fucking beginning is that, what's her name? Khalifa? Or, I think it's Khalifa, that bitch. I hated her from the beginning. Her attitude, I'm glad she was CP9. Fuck her.
That's really good writing.
Did not like her even
but I
for a
also
slight
love them
moment.
because of how strong they are and that our crew genuinely can't beat them. Our crew, the carpenters, are so much stronger than our crew in this scene that it's shown very quickly that we can't win. And I love that that's the kind of antagonist we're facing. I
feel like they do this quite nicely in One Piece. Like, they make you feel powerful. They make you feel like the crew is unstoppable. And then when it comes to another roadblock, it's like they're setting up the power difference quite nicely. Like where I'm at in Thriller Bark, when I haven't reached the new world yet, or we haven't headed off to the new world, but it feels like with Kuma appearing, the power difference is just astronomical, and it scares the shit out of me. The fact that Kaido, or whatever his name is, took out Moria, and we were struggling with him for a very long time. We're struggling Maria, he took him out. This Kuma person, this warlord, is insane. But the power difference is just, it's night and day. We're not even close. And I feel like they do that very well in the series. They give you like a false sense of security a lot.
Off against, because up to this point it's mostly been how creative can Luffy and crew get with their attacks, how hard can they punch, how determined will they be, they'll always make it through. But stakes have been raised. I know that they can't beat them through skill alone. Like, there's gonna have to be some cunning. It's not gonna just be I willed it hard enough so we did it. I don't know how they're going to get past this crew. I don't know what they're going to do because they're too strong. And they prove that when they burn the building down. The other antagonist that we have was also a flip, right? So we had the Carpenters, who I loved and who I wanted to make a part of my crew, who betrayed me. Frankie? And now they're too powerful for us to face off against. And then we have Frankie, who was an antagonist, him and his crew beating up Usopp, stealing money, dismantling ships, right? And Frankie was an antagonist that I didn't like. I was ready to get rid of this cyborg because...
But he's super, and he does cool dance moves. And he sings. Oh, no, don't violate my man like that. Not even in the beginning, he was dope. Come on.
He didn't really do much, you know.
But he had an entrance.
And he had an entrance out to mug people.
Come on.
And then whenever he got mad enough, he took his mask off and danced.
Yeah, damn straight he did.
All right. I don't know. He was one of those antagonists where it's like, yeah, sure, he's powerful. He can make them bleed a little, but they will overpower him. You know,
But he dances. Dances, though.
Care about his personality, him striking very embarrassing dance poses every time he wanted to monologue a little bit before he threw some punches. Like, I don't know. I just don't like him. But we had the amazing Carpenter crew that betrayed me, and then we have Frankie, who was an antagonist, and he flipped as well, and now he's great. We learned that he was a part of the original Carpenters that built the Tom Puff train thing with Iceberg and the frog. And now I get a flashback, again, a really emotional I wasn't prepared. I already got the emotions from Usopp leaving our crew and fighting Luffy. I thought I was done crying. But then I got Frankie's flashback, and I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't bring enough tissues for this arc. Man. Seeing his beginning and Iceberg's beginning, their apprenticeship
thinking about this
with
shit.
Tom and with the train lady and with the frog, and then Frankie's own inventions being used against him to harm Tom, to kill Tom, essentially. I mean, it was a delayed death, but you know, Tom's sacrifice for them. And then we get out of the flashback only for Iceberg.
I love how it's just like constant things that she's like remembering. She's like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's like every time I think back on One Piece in like certain moments, I'm like, wait, oh, and then this happened? It's like mind blowing. It's fucking
Frankie
awesome.
still around and tell him, leave town.
It's like
gave him the
one of the only shows that does that for me.
So that the blueprints would be safe because he still trusted him despite everything they've been through together, despite still not liking him. He gave him the blueprints and he said, leave town. And then he told him, I'm glad you're alive. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the emotions that happen.
I feel like that moment could have hit really hard in the anime for me, but it never did. I don't know why. Like it was a really good moment, but it didn't as much as I probably should have. It just felt really nice.
Stuck crew members. The crew finds out that Robin never betrayed them, and they get out. Big wave comes. The train leaves without them, and then they get on a new train.
Yeah, and then the other twist to that, dude,
with the Frankie crew to try to catch the train so that they can go save Robin. Right? Okay. Plot. And this arc
it's just like so many fucking twists.
The cliffhanger. We're in the middle. I should have said this earlier. We're in the middle.
Wait, where did Water 7 end? Water 7 ended just before you. Okay, gotcha. Just before you lobby.
We've now gotten past multiple nefarious foes, and now we're at the train car once again with the people that we can't defeat because they're stronger than us. still standing in the way of Robin, and we're on our way to Enbis Lobby, which is not a good place to be.
It's a fuced up place. Let's be honest. Thank God that shit's gone.
Why is this where this arc ends? There's so many questions I have, and this is such a cliffhanger. The plot was excellent.
God, is it ever?
I enjoyed every moment of what happened. There were so many twists that I just was not ready for. There were characters that I loved, that I got to love in a new role. There were characters that I didn't like, that I got to learn to love as I got more depth out of them. Everything that went on with Robin was too much for me. I wasn't ready for her to betray them. I chose at the end of the last arc to trust her and to not believe sleepy military guy. But instead...
Sleepy military guy, cool. I feel like this arc, I wouldn't say the first one, but it felt like this was the real, there was such a build up to this moment, to this arc, that like everything had payoff. Like it was the past 200 or whatever episodes, just constantly, such a big payoff. The Usopp moment, it was so fucking good. We learned to trust Robin, after Skypiea, like seriously, like a lot. Everything she did there just was fucking amazing. And it just gets flipped again. Everything just constantly gets flipped. You're just like, fuck, I like this arc, right? Fucking god damn it. It's just so good, bro. It's, I can't even describe it, man. Seriously. Like this is definitely like my favorite point at One Piece at the time. Like once I got up to here, like it's just a completely different level. I already love One Piece before Water 7, and then Water 7 hits and you're just like, it doesn't stop. It's fucking constant.
She does betray them, only to not betray them or like choose the other side. There were so many moments where I was going and then I was just knocked off my feet. And it was excellent. The new characters we meet are incredible. The action, the stakes being raised, this plot was so...
I'm just gonna think about the world building that happened in this arc was also there was a lot.
Good. But
there was also a lot in One Piece, but there's a
I have
lot
grown
here.
to appreciate Osa's little moments so much. There are so many things that happen in this series that are such small...
Wait, when she's saying Osa, is she meaning Oda? Wait, I'm confused. I love her nickname, Lamel. She is meaning Oda? Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha, that tripped me out.
Like the Hat Guy's steel grip when we first meet him, being able to clutch the ground and stop himself from falling. Frog facing off against the train seemingly senselessly at the beginning of this arc, and the emotional impact of why he's doing it later. There are so many little things that happen.
It always has payoff.
At the moment,
this
it's like,
dude
okay,
is literally insane.
Sure.
It's amazing.
We're doing this now. But I've really learned to trust this author because these little things end up paying in such a monumental ways. They come back around and it's like, oh.
My one thing that in the entire series, which I felt like was out of place or didn't necessarily need to be there, was in Thriller Bark with Sanji's reaction or Sanji's little backstory with Absolem. Like it felt weird, like his reasoning for wanting to have that fruit. Like that felt out of place, to say the least. Like Sanji, that's not him, you know? That's not him. I thought it was funny, but it didn't feel like him. That's my only thing so far.
Like a giant frog with a weird hairdo.
I know.
I'm somehow really attached to this giant frog now.
Same thing with freaking Laboon.
I love his ability.
Just a giant whale with scars. It's intimidating. And you're like, oh, I love it. The one thing I really noticed with Thriller Bark, I probably noticed it beforehand, but like I really noticed that we don't need to talk to each other. Like that's how strong the crew is at that point in time. Like when it was them versus Maria, and versus what's his name, Oars. Like they didn't need to talk. They knew what to do. Like they were so fucking in sync. They just knew how to fight. They knew each other so well. They will work together. Obviously, they had moments where they did, but it was just like instinct.
So moments I loved with the crew as a whole, or individual pieces of the crew.
Sorry, just...
I loved at the very beginning when Luffy and most of them were fighting over what their next crew member is going to look like. They're looking for a carpenter. They're coming in to get the merry-go fix, but also to get a new carpenter. And they're arguing over, you know, Sanji wants a babe, and Luffy wants a big guy that looks like his drawing. Zoro doesn't care what the carpenter looks like, just as long as they're good.
Even like the whole things where like Luffy just wants the goddamn statue.
Then in the background, you have Nami, who's really excited about this map that the train conductor drew her. She's like ready, you know, she's the navigator. She's ready to navigate. And then it turns out to be this crude drawing. And she's like, they're arguing about the carpenter, and she's in the background throwing the map down. Like, this is just
God damn it.
Content.
That's amazing.
When Usopp was kidnapped,
such a great dynamic.
When Usopp was mugged and then goes back to get the money back, which we'll talk about when I talk about Usopp.
But then
the crew goes to get him, or to get the money, I can't remember now. And when they find him in the condition that he's in, there is an absolute shift that happens in all three of these guys.
I hope she talks about when Nami found him. I don't know if that was just in the anime, but like it hit me so hard, bro.
There's no talking them out of anything. I think there's even a line where the Frankie crew is like, whoa, can we not talk about this? And they're like, oh no. We've passed the point of talking about this. That was such an incredible moment. Oh yeah, and then there are also little moments like when Luffy is with, I think it was Nami and Zoro. You know, they're all agreeing that they should stay behind, and then they look over and Luffy's gone. And so then they start running, and they're like, oh, of course, Luffy went ahead to cause a distraction so that we're clear to go in.
And then the dude was stuck.
They're sure that Luffy is being smart and looking out for them. And I'm sure of it too. I'm right there with them. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I love Luffy. He's always looking out for his crew. Stuck in a wall. He's stuck in a friggin' wall. Luffy. So many great moments. Some highlights for Luffy himself. I'm gonna go through the crew members and just talk about how I've loved them.
She really does these reviews so fucking well. Like seriously.
We already talked about him getting stuck in a wall. He did that quite a few times here. Lots of little moments with him, like the way he handles the money and the way the crew treats him.
With the subtitles on, like I have a tendency to just look at the subtitles, not look like her when she's speaking. Anime's fucked me up.
But they certainly don't trust him with things like this. The way they end up getting the bowl, or like the creature that they ride on, is just Luffy being Luffy saying, oh, there's a thing here. I would like to have it. I don't know what it is, but yes, please, fry it up. I'm gonna eat it, whatever it is. Oh, and when we meet the carpenter that looks kind of like Usopp, and Luffy, even though Usopp is standing right next to him, talking to him, he's talking to the other guy, calling him Usopp. And it's like, come on, man. I love you. Oh, yeah. And then later, Luffy tries to
the nose
jump around the buildings like not Usopp did, and just falls into the water. And again, like I said before, his absolute rejection of ever being willing to believe that Robin could betray them. Nope, Nami just brings her foot down and she's like,
oh, bro, I forgot about that.
On his head as a bounty. Give us the correct appraisal or...
Give us more, bitch.
Like,
come on.
Oh my goodness.
It was so badass. Bro, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
Was when Iceberg tells her that Robin didn't betray them and that she's...
One of my favorite moments in the series, apart from like Usopp's, just him in this arc, Soge King, freaking Nothing Happened, and a whole bunch more. One of my favorite moments was Zoro in Posting's lobby, standing his ground and like really resetting everybody in the crew when talking about like letting Usopp back into the crew. He was just like, bro, this is what he fucking did. What does it say about us if we let him back in? Like, is that acceptable? Such a good fucking moment.
And when Nami realizes that Robin didn't betray them or isn't going to betray them again in the end, that Nami that she falls over because she's so happy.
Yeah.
That Robin is still a part of them. I mean, she's not. Robin has left the crew, but you know that Robin isn't going to betray them once and for all. And then that line that she says when he's like, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do at this point. And he's like, and then Nami says something along the lines of, this changes everything. It's not over. This is just the beginning.
Oh!
Yes! Zoro
damn, Nami
had a lot of great moments in this arc, which I'm a little bit mad about. He got stuck in a
That's kind of true, actually.
chimney.
Yeah.
He fought off the Frankie crew.
It mainly felt like Usopp's arc, and that was
to
it.
dismantle the ship.
And then the next arc
And
felt
that
like it was...
excellent because Zoro is always...
This arc was Usopp's. Next arc in his lobby was Robin's. It's Soge Kings.
And then I think my favorite scene with him
Zoro had
was when,
big payoff moments in the next
when
arc.
They needed to get through the line of people to get to Iceberg, and Nami's like, these are innocent people, we can't just cut them down. And Zoro's like, no problem, I'll just use the back of my swords. And he's just like beating people out of the way to clear a path. These people that are here specifically to stop the Straw Hats, and they're like, we're gonna fight you. And Zoro's like, no. And he just moves them all. Chopper had a really dramatic moment, emotional moment when the building was on fire and he saved them. He knocked Nami out the window to get her away, and then he carried the rest out.
Right, I instantly thought about the medicine moment before that.
He was badly injured too, and when he saw everybody there, his first thought is, I need to take care of their injuries. I need to tend to their wounds. Right before he himself passes out.
Sweet, dude.
That was such a great moment. Chopper is a character that really doesn't do much for me.
So cute.
Sorry. He seemed...
the pain! What? Doesn't do much for me? What the fuck?
Seems to be one that gets a lot of love from you guys. He's not a character that really does a lot for me, but that scene was...
Okay.
so great. Usopp obviously had tons of ridiculously emotional scenes. Man, this was an intense arc for Usopp. Him being mugged and absolutely...
Best scene in this fucking arc, hands down. This scene right here. It was so brutal.
At what happened to him, and then trying...
I pulled my eyes out.
To go back to get the money because he can't let the crew down, and then getting beat down even further because of it. His dedication to the merry-go and refusal to let her go even when he knows that there's nothing they can do to save this ship, but because of his connection to the ship, because he believes that the ship fixed itself back in 2 arcs ago, and
for what reason she didn't like Usopp.
He's like,
yeah, we definitely have to check out more of her reviews.
Like, I can't let it go.
These are just such well done videos.
Abandon it. His fight
she goes through everything.
With Luffy, his determination.
I think my thing when it comes to One Piece is because I go through a lot of it, and we go through the series quite quickly, to be honest. So it's nice to go back through all these arcs, especially with her reviews, which are amazing, and these like little moments that I might have forgotten about, or I just need to refresh in my mind, just add so much to give me more appreciation for the series. Seriously.
And to not back down. And then that scene when he says he's not coming with Sanji, when Sanji's like, all right, let's do this. We need to go protect Robin on the train. And Usopp says, I'm not coming. I don't owe you guys anything. I was not ready for that. But then he just put on a
I don't think anybody was ready for that then.
And went with
Soge
like, pretended to be someone else, pretended to be a sniper. And
it's a different person, bro. Cue the Soge King theme song. Bro, that theme song is so dope.
Sanji knows the whole time that it's Usopp. We all know that it's Usopp, but for whatever reason, he can't do it as Usopp. And this is definitely an arc that added a lot of depth to what Usopp has been.
I'm interested to see her perspective on Soge King for the next arc for Enies Lobby. Soge King, as the disguise or whatever, was something for him to be able to still do what one side of him wants to do, which is help out the crew with like the bonds he's built with them, still defend and get Robin back. But it was just, he was torn by what he did and what he wants to do at the same time. Like, it was his way of being empowered in that moment, doing something or whatever he could do, cope with everything and put that to the side at the same time. It was great. I feel like that was way better than us just pushing him over for the rest of the arc for Enies Lobby, or him coming back as himself. Like, it wouldn't have hit as hard the moments that he did have in Enies Lobby if he wasn't Soge King.
Any moment when the Mary is in danger, he's there. But this moment right here was beautiful. When Robin was saying she wasn't going to go with them, and so he just grabbed her and ran while he put up the smoke screen, and grabbed her and ran through the merry-go into the water.
The other one knows.
In front of Usopp?
No!
That's he's fought for?
I know.
Sanji was a character that was pretty disappointing.
That moment didn't hit me as hard because after I put the video on YouTube, I remember looking through like other people's like videos, seeing, you know, how they felt about it. And a lot of people were crying in that moment. And obviously it was a big build up. It was like, Usopp it just being completely cut off. But that hit me, but not as hard as I thought it would. Now looking back on it.
And in this arc, because I've fallen for Sanji's character so much. He's
hey, let's go!
One of my favorite crew members now.
Just a weird thing in Thriller Bark, but let's not talk about it.
Sanji wasn't around very much, and there were battles that they were in.
I think that's sort of like foreshadowing with that, where it's like Sanji's always doing something in the background that leads to a big payoff in the end.
When they were facing off against the Carpenters the first time, and I was just like, where's Sanji? I need him here. But he did have some really good moments, like that line where he essentially says that he knew that Robin was lying to them the whole time, that he knew that she would never betray him as well, that he went to the train to wait for the crew and to make sure that somebody would be with her when the train took off, and then the note he left Nami, which was hilarious. He got on the train and he made sure to be with Robin so that at least one of them would be on the train with her, despite not knowing what the rest of the crew was doing, despite not knowing what their plan was. He was ready. That was really great. How am I gonna get on this train? And then somebody opens the door and then he gives them that smile and then beats them, which, by the way, so many
that was
deaths
so sick
in this arc. I mean, he killed that person that he threw off the train. Usopp killed that person when he threw the star and knocked them off the train. Every time they disconnected a train car and everybody just went into the ocean, or when Zoro cut through a train.
Well, they're good in the end. I guess you found that out in the next
we're
part.
in the middle of the biggest storm of the century here, and we're just chucking people in the water, just knocking them off the train. They're dead. Oh yeah, the scene where Frankie says, "Oh, this must be one of your friends," and both Usopp and Sanji say, ex-friend. Sanji is adamant. He is an ex-friend. He's not my friend anymore. But then when he realizes that who he's talking to is Frankie, the guy whose crew beat up Usopp so bad, instantly he flips the switch and he's ready to fight for Usopp again. He accepts Usopp's disguise, doesn't like fight back against him, but at the same time completely ignores him.
Usopp's speech lift is goated,
like,
yeah.
You know I'm the sniper, right? He's just like, okay, so anyway, because he knows it's Usopp. And of course we got to see Sanji being the incredible fighter that he is against that really tall guy. And then, listen, I really love any fight scene that Sanji is in. I guess even if it's a spaghetti person that he's fighting against.
That was a good fight.
Why? Why spaghetti?
That was a solid fight. Super random, but awesome.
Like this very personally, because this person called themselves a chef when what they were doing.
That moment was so badass.
There's more. Where Luffy and Usopp are really fighting.
Oh, and he
Sanji
goes to Luffy.
Kicks Luffy off of Usopp so that Luffy wouldn't say that Usopp should leave the crew. Like he's keeping him in line. He's like, don't you escalate it to this point. Don't say something you don't mean.
What a great fucking review. Seriously. I know I talked a lot throughout that and paused a lot once I remembered moments for me and ones that me personally, but that was a great review. She makes very, very good videos. I couldn't imagine trying to do this myself. I feel like you'd have to go back so often. Remembering half that stuff, like in detail, it's crazy. And it's very well structured. Like she went through the plot, then after she went through character moments. Shout out to Merphy. That's crazy. If you guys haven't already, make sure to go subscribe to her.